Moi, je suis Doherty.
Katia de Vidas Doherty. Peter est musicien, chanteur, compositeur et je suis réalisatrice du film Stranger in My Skin.
The whole world tells you you are the one. And I defy you not to believe that, my son.
It is the Libertines.
It's a film about freedom, it's a film about creativity, it's a film about addiction.
Katia was working as sort of part-time cameraman.
Yeah.
Small Stooges documentary. And the magazine In Recuptables, its original form, was edited by a guy called Christian February. Particularly interesting project. He would ask Katia to film while he interviewed. And I think that was the first time we met.
Yeah.
And then each time we did an interview with In Recuptables in France or in London, it would be Katia filming. And so after 2 or 3 times, well, I never really saw her face, but I saw her shoes and her hands. And I like the look of her hands, and we became friends.
And so Peter was calling me every time he came to France.
And Katia was calling me every time she came to London.
And he's like, come and film this, come and film that. And then we made a movie.
I had big ideas, I always wanted to make little videos and just put them on YouTube. The Katia would come and film them, but she would never put them on YouTube. She would keep them, and then after 4 or 5 years, it was like, what about all these little videos you made, like just things in the street or backstage? And she said, I'll keep them, we'll see. And then time went on
and then we met Miriam Bale. She said, I produced a film and we did it. Were you sometimes afraid or worried by the dark side of Peter?
It got worse.
So on one hand, thank you, on the other hand, fuck you.
From one moment, nobody knew who they were. 10 minutes later, everybody wanted a bit of them.
Well, in the same way that you built, any relationships, trust you have in your life, Like maybe you tiptoed into it, or maybe presumably you have someone you trust and love in your life. Maybe you don't, but if you do, you're blessed. And maybe you tiptoed into it, or maybe you just fell into it. Yeah, how did we do it? How did we?
I would trust. Well, you needed to trust me because many people were around you that time and were not trustable, I guess.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Why did you trust me? Maybe because I had footage and I did nothing with them in the beginning.
No.
Oh, I've got a trustful vibe.
In spite of being a drug addict, in spite of being clean, I will create.
Creative process has never really changed, like with or without drugs. I just sit down with a guitar or with a pencil or a machine écrit and write and play, and it's hard to explain really, it's hard to talk about, you're really making me want to just play guitar now. But sources of inspiration, just les gens, le monde. There was a time when we were doing some writing together, but it didn't really become part of this film, We were doing some sort of fictional pieces that didn't really work with this film. So no, really, I didn't have anything to do with the writing, the editing, or the post-production. And the first question was, how did I feel when I saw the film? Well, it's quite difficult to watch, to be honest. I don't particularly like seeing myself on camera anyway.
I think Peter's part of the work was just to being completely open to me filming it, and without censored. There was no censorship. There was also, you just opened your life to me and I could film it, and then that was my work to edit it and make films. So no, definite work.
I don't know. There's been a period of general catharsis, kind of liberation, but I don't know if that's just coincidence that it's happened at the same time as the film. I'm not sure really. There's been certain moments, like the premiere in London in Leicester Square, when I saw some people who I hadn't seen for a very long time who came to the screening, and it was quite a special moment, just to see these characters from a distant life, and to see how they'd changed and grown as well, and that they were there, to support me. It was quite cathartic.